Online at libertylawgroup.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. Welcome to it. It is Old School on a beautiful Wednesday here in the capital city. Austin Orman here. More importantly, to my left, your right if you're watching on stream. Husker Hall of Famer, 8-year NFL vet. Black shirt, Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome back. Happy Wednesday. How are you?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Great. Sun's shining. A couple days away from football. Colts are making moves that completely floored me. We'll get into that coming up.
Do you believe in your
4.
team yet?
Jay, we'll get into that at 4. We'll get into that again at 4 because we need your reaction to the trade deadline. The Jets, are they doing your boy Aaron Glenn dirty, or are they actually helping him out in the long run? Again, all of that to come on today's show. Evan Bland at 4:30 as well. We'll talk plenty of Nebraska football, including a Whiteboard Wednesday coming up at 5 p.m. College football playoff rankings got released. We'll talk through that coming up soon. But for now, we will turn our attention to Husker football. 402-464-5685. If you have any thoughts here on anything that we're talking about, would love to hear it from you. Jay, I think the first place we're going to start is TJ Lateef making his return to the Rose Bowl. We heard from Dana Holgorsen about TJ Lateef, who, first and foremost, Dana Holgorsen said nothing changes. He's the quarterback. He's expected to run the offense. Sure, we will cater it to his strengths and what he does well to some degree, but at this point, the offense is the offense. What do you think TJ Lateef's strengths are? What do you expect Nebraska to do for him and Nebraska to do with him at the Rose Bowl against UCLA on Saturday?
I mean, I think he's obviously a hell of an athlete. And I think he's got some moxie. He's got that quiet confidence, and obviously he's a freshman. He's going to have that. I think he's got a really live arm. Throws a deep ball with accuracy. Could throw on the run, make plays with his feet. You know, I think it's just that the biggest thing he lacks, obviously, is just not being experienced. I think Nebraska will, hopefully, get in it. First of all, hopefully everybody around him shows up ready to play. Because there's no doubt that he's going to be, a little bit nervous and anxious, and that's what you're like that before any game. Everybody, I was nervous and anxious before every game. By no means will he be scared, but I think other guys that are your big time guys and everybody around him, offense, defense, special teams, need to raise their level of play because he's your teammate, and ultimately you're out there playing a team game to win. But specifically, they'll probably, roll the pocket a little bit. He gives it, UCLA some matchup problems. When he gets out on the edge, he can make something happen, make something out of nothing. Hopefully they get him some, easy throws. But more importantly, if they show up ready to play and able to run the ball to the rate that they've been, running it and very efficient, too, is with, procedure penalties, no dumb penalties, and don't behind, not a lot of negative plays. TJ Lateef will handle himself, just fine.
I looked back at some other debuts for notable Husker starters in the last 10 or 15 years. Taylor Martinez got his first start against Western Kentucky, I believe it was, in 2010. 9 of 15 through the air, 136 yards, also ran 7 times for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 49-10 season opening win for the Huskers. Tommy Armstrong got his first start against South Dakota State right before they got really good. Tommy went 12 of 15 through the air, ended up with 1 touchdown, no interceptions, also ran it 5 times for 38 yards. Adrian Martinez, obviously the start against Colorado as a true freshman in 2018, 15 of 20 through the air, a touchdown and a pick, also ran 15 times for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns in that loss to Colorado, 33-28 here in Lincoln. Then even Heinrich Harburg, will throw him in there as a mobile-ish quarterback. 14 of 24 through the air, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as 21 carries for 98 yards and 1 touchdown. That came in the 35-11 win against Northern Illinois. In terms of volume, Jay, I don't think there's any way that TJ Lateef gets the 21 carries that Heinrich Harburg did, or the even 15 carries that Adrian Martinez did. But I do think that he does end up maybe in that Tommy Armstrong, Taylor Martinez range, 5 to 7 carries to highlight the legs. We'll see if he's explosive as those guys were. 18 yards a carry for Taylor Martinez, even 7.6 for Tommy Armstrong. At least rushing the ball. If TJ Lateef can keep it 5 to 7 times for 6 or 7 yards a pop, I think that's a good first, impression for him to make with his legs.
Yeah, for sure. But he's a better thrower than all of them.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
You watch the same game. They aren't throwers of the football. As far as playing the quarterback position, they played it and they threw it within the true RPO system that they had, which is a lot of smoke screens, tunnel screens, and all that. I don't think Adrian was ever put in a position to throw the ball. I think Adrian had a better, more lively arm than he got credit for. But I just think TJ Lateef throws the ball better. I think the biggest runs for him are going to be the ones that he makes off schedule.
The scrambles more so than the runs.
It's 3rd and 6, makes a quick decision, gets 7 yards, keeps the chains moving. And then, the ones that he kind of gets out of and, keeps it from being a negative play and stuff like that. I think the hidden yards with him are going to be key. The most important thing for him is just get the ball handling and all that stuff together, from last week. Because playing the position, I think he'll be fine. I think Dana will call the plays that need to, be called for his skill set. I think he's had enough reps with the ones in different probably practice situations that they'll be able to do what they need to do. And so he just needs to deliver the mail from there. But the biggest thing for him, and especially when you get into this type of, intense environment, you're the new starter, you're young. He is a true freshman first start. It's just the basics. Just get the basics done, and then just let your God-given ability take over.
I think that is a lot of what it comes down to. Let's get to this from 007. If I was on the coaching staff, I would move the offense to look like Minnesota. Power game, zone reads, and such. That's not really in Nebraska's wheelhouse to look like Minnesota. This is where, Jay, I would almost lean on what Dana Holgerson's been really good at in the past. Think about the air raid, the conversation around it. It's simplified. It's basic. It doesn't ask the quarterback to do a whole lot. Can you make these simple throws? Not saying TJ Lateef can't read the game, but I think in a vacuum, in a perfect world, a lot of that one read stuff for a guy in a homecoming start on the road, essentially for him, if you can get him in rhythm, now hit that back foot, get it out to his first read as often as possible, that goes a long way. Here's the problem. If Nebraska's not winning off the line of scrimmage, UCLA's got athletes. They do, maybe not USC caliber, but they're plenty athletic enough. if Nebraska's wide receivers aren't going to win early in their routes, it makes it hard to say, yeah, just throw it here because this guy's going to be open by the time you hit your back foot and your 3-step drop.
Yeah, and he's played enough football in high school. He knows what to do and not to do, and that does help. I mean, especially early in the game. But you also got to understand UCLA is going to be banking on you to do it. So, if you got confidence in him to read the defenses, and it's not just him reading the defense. If a veteran receiver, Dane Key, Hunter, I'll throw Barney in there. They got to be a little. This is what I was saying on the Jay Foreman postgame show. Everybody's got to be more invested, because if I'm a slot receiver and I'm studying the game, and I'm being, they're studying coverages too, because their routes are based off the coverages sometimes. You got to be able to tell them. Don't keep the secret to you, because you want to get confirmation, and that means whatever hand signals they have, they need to get it to TJ so he can play the quarterback position the best he can. But how he plays is going to be set up how they get out and establish a efficient and effective run game. They're going to be keying on Emmett to try to make TJ throw the ball. So you got to make sure you have a counter punch to their to their lead punch, and then you got to settle in the game and start winning in line of scrimmage. So offensive line is going to have to play a big role. Tight ends are going to have to be excellent as safety nets. That's Lindenmeyer, Heinrich Harburg, and obviously Carter Nelson. You get a chance to make some plays early in the game to kind of take the energy out of the stadium, which you want to do when you're on the road. And that includes Emmett and Mosey and all those guys as well, Makai Nelson. So everybody's got to pull their weight. Everybody's got to be on point. And then, TJ's got to do his thing. Hopefully he gets off to a good start, confident start, and then, the rest will be history.
Let's hear from Dana Holgerson on Ja'Cory Barney, a guy that I think would be a big help to TJ Lateef in that short to intermediate area. Dana Holgerson was asked yesterday, are defenses doing something special to contain or take away Ja'Cory Barney Jr.? Here's what Nebraska's OC had to say yesterday.
I wouldn't say that. It's just, our progressive pass game is not great right now. We're not able to sit back there and go through reads. That's when he, like earlier in the year, if you talk about the plays that he made, it was all progressive, and so, he was like, we tried to take a shot to Luke down the field on the sidelines, and ball probably actually should have went there, and then the progression is Ja'Cory coming across the field, and Dylan just got spooked and spit it out there to Isaiah. But we got to continue to work on that. I mean, I get it. He needs the ball. I've developed some screens and I've done some things, to get him the ball, and it just hasn't turned out the way that we want it and expect it to turn out. I joked with him earlier that when he gets the ball on offense, he needs to pretend it's a punt return. Because we see what he can do with the ball, and I'm trying to get creative to, that one play, I know Coach referenced it, but we had a tunnel screen to him, and that thing he was walking in, and so then we threw him another tunnel screen and missed the block. There's things that we do to get him involved. And, if you start forcing things too much, then that disrupts the flow of your offense.
Interesting answer there from Dana Holgerson, who, again, for a couple weeks now has recognized the importance to Nebraska of getting Ja'Cory Barney Jr. the ball. But, I saw this from a guy named Parker Fleming, who does a lot of college football and NFL data on Twitter. The use of motion. Nebraska sends Ja'Cory Barney Jr. in motion a lot. Nebraska, on its pass plays, uses motion about 57% of the time. In fact, on pass plays, Nebraska uses more motion than almost anyone else. Even though they use motion, though, Nebraska very rarely actually throws it to the motion man. It's only about 24% of the time the player that goes in motion actually gets the ball. Two-part question. Number one, is that a way Nebraska could look to get Ja'Cory Barney the ball quicker and easier in space? By using him in motion, getting him those quick throws while he's already on the move, would that be something you think worthwhile for Nebraska to add to the offense?
I mean, sure. A lot of times with motion and shifts, they do that to shift the defense, and they're throwing opposite where that's normal offensive flow and all that. Sure, you could get him in motion, get him on the run, kind of simultaneously running some rub routes, or, get him the ball early, because he can be an X factor, where he makes one guy miss, and like what Dana Holgerson said, it was like, hey, man, you need to treat this like a punt return. Make one guy miss and get upfield. Don't overthink it. And sometimes, like I said, his production last year was a byproduct of lack of talent around him. and this is not taking a shot at any of the guys, that were there last year. I just felt like they aren't as productive as Dane Key and Hunter, right? And so now you level up with those Dane Key and Hunter, your opportunities go down. And then obviously emerges to Emmett, and obviously in the backfield, conventional running and out of the backfield
Mm-hmm.
and Lindemeyer. So now he's part of a better skill position group overall. But still probably can find a way to give him the ball. But you gotta make it happen. You can look at it as ultimate respect when teams are rolling coverages to you. They're definitely aware of where he's at. You know that defensively. They're protecting the seams against him. So nothing's going to be easy. They're trying to box him in. So he's just got to continue to work at it, and they're going to continue to work at it to try to, get him going.
The other part of getting Ja'Cory Barney Jr. the ball is holding on to the ball. Nebraska had a 14-play drive to open the game, 75 yards and a touchdown. Had an 8-play drive in the second quarter, went for 75 yards and a touchdown. Then a 10-play drive for 57 yards that went for field goal. Those were Nebraska's only drives that lasted 8 plays or more.
All year?
In that game against USC.
Oh, yeah.
Not the Nebraska.
When you go
only
3 and out,
ranks,
it's hard. It's kind of whether it's like playing bingo.
Exactly. Because then Nebraska's other drives were 3, 5, 1, 3, 4 with the fumble that Joan Raiola got hurt on, 6, 4, and then 6 at the very end of the game. That's not very many snaps to look to get guys the ball. So staying on the field will give Nebraska more of a chance to spread that ball around. But I want to ask you that too. I brought that up with the motion because I tend to agree. I think TJ Lateef, in terms of playing the position, is in a pretty good spot for a freshman. I believe he was an early enrollee. Getting to campus early certainly helps. But Jay, I'd be curious to monitor if Nebraska uses motion at the same rate or a similar rate to give TJ Lateef some cues. Yeah. Hey, here's what they're in. Or if they back off their motion and say, here's the look you're getting, diagnose it. Yeah, the defense, might have an easier time, when they're a little bit more disguised, but where your guys are at, where they're going. You don't have to worry about any of the timing like you would when guys go in motion. I could see an argument either way. My gut tells me they stick with what they've done all year and use quite a bit of motion on pass plays. But I could also see an argument for Nebraska maybe lessening that from the first handful of games.
Yeah, whatever he's comfortable with, they're going to make sure, TJ's got to communicate, obviously with Coach, was it Glenn Thomas?
Yeah.
So they all got to get together, know what he knows, and evaluate what he knows, and then put together all that into the game plan. And then you can add or subtract whatever you do initially, too. That's your in-game adjustments, too. And so you could get going. UCLA could be tipping off what they're doing. You can add more to it. They might get more complex in between a quarter or a half or whatever. You got to get maybe less complex to get them going. But ultimately, whether you're talking about Ja'Cory Barney or anybody else, 21 is your bell cow.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how you can initially get him started, because that keeps everything on rhythm. This offense is about rhythm.
Defense is about disrupting rhythm.
Right. When they're playing well, they're on rhythm. Right. And so they're trying to figure out how to, keep that. One of my favorite songs back in the day was Will Smith and, it's summertime, and you want to get the extended version. You don't want the 3-minute and 30-second one. You want the one that's like 9 minutes. So you got to learn to, try to get that extra, long, keep the rhythm for drives upon drives. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, the 10-minute drive or 8-minute drive. We're talking about 6 to 8, 9 plays.
Yeah.
Guys out there getting in the rhythm of the game. And it'd be interesting to see how they do it. And I'm sure they really the game being kicked off a little bit later plays in Nebraska's favor, because you're able to kind of you get that extra. Say the game was generally going to kick off, say like at 2:30 here, right? That would be 11, 12 o'clock, 2 to 12:30 there, right? Or so now you get 6 more hours. You can watch a little bit more tape.
Yeah.
But
there's a very fine line between watching more and being prepared and overloading a kid his first start.
He won't be overloaded. No, because you're not going to just say, hey, let's watch a new game. You're just going to be able to kind of cement more into his head, like of what you're doing.
More reinforcement than adding to.
Yeah. Okay. You can watch another hour or two. You can have another meeting. like I said, for him, if he would have been able to, I never want Dylan to get hurt, but just the fact that he's hurt, say he got hurt at the end of that second quarter, he gets 30 minutes to go in there and get his bearings together versus like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If that, because of the injury, and then, get Dylan off the field. Okay, let's see where we're at. Looking at the time on the clock, we're in a 10th game, all that type of stuff. So, everybody's going to be focused on what he does, but more importantly, I'm going to be more focused what everybody else does. Does the defense take it upon themselves to play an excellent game on the road, knowing you got a freshman quarterback over there, and you're going to have to carry the water pail a little bit more early, especially to win this game?
Let's hear from Dana Holgorsen on that very topic, older guys carrying the water. Here's the OC from yesterday.
Oh, it absolutely dodoes. It was kind of one thing that I thought was missing last year when I got here. I got here about a year ago yesterday. And I do think we've improved in a lot of areas. One of like Dylan tried to be that guy last year and he wasn't ready to do it, and that took a toll on him. And he had to hit that reset button when I got here. And I think he did a good job of that. But now I think we have good, strong, older presence guys. When TJ stepped into that huddle to start practice, those guys were excited in there, and they were slapping them around and kidding with them, joking with them, but they understand it, and they are older. Even Jacory's played a lot of ball, and Isaiah's played a lot of ball. Luke's played a lot of ball, and then all those old linemen are pretty old as well. So Coach Rill's done an amazing job with the team this week of getting that point across.
It's been interesting because Nebraska is one of, if not the youngest teams in the Big Ten, and yet they do have some pretty good veteran leadership, right? Especially on the offense, where you're not relying on a bunch of those young guys. Now, the same challenges of chemistry, build timing, and all that stuff certainly exist. But yeah, I do think that it's a better ecosystem for TJ Lateef to step into now than, say, Heinrich Harburg would have stepped into in 2023, or even Dylan Raiola at times last year in 24.
I mean, there's a uptick in talent too. Guys that have done it before, guys that are probably wired the right way. I'm sure Coach Rule and them have a better idea what they're looking for in and out of the portal, high school kids, and whatever they're getting to come in here. So, and what they need, and last year the defense was more veteran laden. You can kind of just roll the ball out that you could kind of know what you're going to get every day. There was some obviously speed bumps, but you were able to do some things probably just off the cuff, and then now you offensively you're there, and the leadership is going to come. Leadership has to be like 100% organic. You have got, like, I'll tell the story. Like, they were trying, like, I remember when I played, they were trying to make Bobby Newcomb into Tommy Frazier. That just wasn't. He just athletically, yes. Locker room wise, no. And that's nothing against Bobby. Tommy Frazier was a savage. Bobby Newcomb as a sophomore was not that. And and probably neither was Tommy when he was a sophomore. But so you just got to make sure that you just got to, let the guys do what they need to do, because the most important thing is not only your words, but your actions, and then see what you're doing, like in the locker room, which will then allow you, these guys that are been around, whether they're here in Nebraska, take it upon themselves without the coaches telling them that we have to now. It's not that we got to go do more individually, like more like selfish play. We got to go do something together as a unit, as a linebacker unit, defensive line, and defense as a whole, because we got a young guy out there playing. Everybody's been in that position before. First game, you're nervous and all that. So it's almost like, paying it forward, going out there, protect your teammate, and play the best that you can.
Last thing before we take our first break of the show, from Richie Rich on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Does Dana Holgorsen ask Lateef what his favorite plays and route combinations are leading up to a week like this? What are those conversations between an OC and a first-time starter signal caller?
Well, I'm sure he's communicating with him. I mean, he's a veteran coach. He's been, he's been in some tricky situations before and has coached his way, out of it. He's well established as a play caller. I can almost guarantee he's in communication with Lateef and the quarterbacks in general and Glenn Thomas constantly. I mean, he's the guy calling the plays. He want to make sure that he can run them effectively. So Yeah, I mean, Dana's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. And so his job is to get to TJ Lateef in the best positions possible to be successful for the team. So I have no doubt that he's communicating with him.
PacFan72 007, appreciate your text as well. We'll go to break. When we get back, college football playoff rankings. The first one, wahoo wah. Virginia in there is the ACC rep. What else stands out? What else surprised us? Let us know your thoughts as well. 402-464-5685. We'll be back to talk college football playoff next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org. Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Mike, I've been thinking, our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop! Woohoo!
Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you here. Beautiful Wednesday in the capital city. Swing on by 1040 O Street. If you're in the doldrums of your afternoon, need a boost, we got the milk coffee here as always. If that doesn't get you excited enough, college football playoff rankings got released. It is the first week in November. That has been the custom. Jay, we have our first rankings, including 25 teams. First thing that stood out to me, no group of 5 team anywhere in the top 25. Of course, they still have their guaranteed representative, but the last few years we've had Tulane really pop up. Obviously, Boise State, Nash and Genty last year. Army Navy going back and forth with really good records through all last year. Memphis gets the 12 seed if the season ended today by virtue of being projected to be the American Conference champion. But I think that's the first thing that stood out to me. All power conference teams in the initial version of the top 25.
Yeah, that's the way it's shaking out this year so far. And I don't think any group of 5s has really played to the level that they could have. I think even right when South Florida was there.
Yeah.
And then I think the next week where they lost and they're still, obviously in the hunt, but not as appealing as before. But you know what? You never know because there's teams that are outside of the first little projected college football playoffs that could play their way themselves in. So that means there will be a team or two that will play themselves out of it. The thing gets hairy if there's a team that like SMU last year that was already in favored to win the conference championship. Here comes Clemson. Then you got a team that's added, and then obviously you had some of the blue bloods sitting at home last year where they were a little upset.
The initial bracket, the top 4: Ohio State, Indiana at 1 and 2, A&M and Alabama at 3 and 4. Hard to complain with that. I think that was pretty well thought of. But I think the breakdown is pretty interesting here, Jay, where you do end up with 3 Big Ten teams in the rankings. Oregon down at number 9, 4 SEC teams with Georgia and Ole Miss being seated back-to-back at 5 and 6. But how about this? Potential 2-bid Big 12 with BYU and Texas Tech both in the conversation.
Yeah.
Last year it was the 2-bid ACC, exactly what you were mentioning with Clemson stealing a bid from Alabama. But right now, there's not much separation between these 2 Big 12 teams in the rankings. They've got BYU at number 7 and Texas Tech at number 8. It seems like both those teams have enough respect that even, if they avoid the quote-unquote bad loss or the loss outside of the conference championship game, right now, both those teams are tracking to be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and BYU was close last year.
Yeah.
And lost a little steam coming down the stretch. And Texas Tech is obviously bought themselves into the college football playoffs if it started right now. We'll see how it ends. It's just when you think about it, the Ohio State you figured would be 1. It's the way they played all year in the preseason ranking. Indiana was ranked but a little bit lower than obviously they expected considering where they are right now. But nobody believed in Texas A&M, including yours truly, because of Texas A&M's history, including last year.
Yes.
But then there's Alabama, who was dead to. I can guarantee you, after that first couple of weeks of the season, first of all, the embarrassing loss to Florida State, and then Florida State backed it up with a blowout victory, and Alabama had a so-so victory after being blown out by Florida State. You would expect the Florida State to be number 4 there. Yeah. They're nowhere, obviously, in the conversation. Mm-hmm. But then it's a complete turnaround and probably more mentally than physically, because I think Alabama has one of the best rosters in the nation. And then you think Notre Dame, they were preseason ranked, didn't look so good, had a couple losses. They steadied the ship. Then you have Miami that looked like should have been in there.
Yeah.
They're essentially back against the wall. I think it's going to continue to be, topsy-turvy, and teams are going to play themselves in and out, and it's going to be a free-for-all.
That was the question from Cubs Grunt, our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. You look at this this first 12-team field, Cubsker wants to know, who do you think is most likely to play themselves out of the field?
Ooh. Play themselves out of the field. I'll say Texas Tech.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll say Texas Tech because of the way that they kind of been just skating by.
Quarterback injuries.
Yeah, quarterback injuries. But they've been skating by, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like last second, and they're talented. I have to look at their schedule, but I would just off the cuff, I would say Texas Tech, number 1.
Texas Tech hosts BYU coming up on Saturday.
Okay, so
then they will have UCF come to the Crib, and then a bye week before they go to West Virginia to end the regular season.
And West Virginia's starting to play.
They're getting there. Coming along.
Well, even if that's the problem. Even if Texas Tech loses, these next 2, they'll probably beat UCF and they'll beat West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Which would leave them at 10-2.
I would have to say.
I'm not sure 10-2 gets them in.
I would have to say Ole Miss, even though I want Lane to do it. I'm going off of history.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ole Miss. They're playing opportunistic defense, which is kind of led by their offense.
Ole Miss has Citadel, Florida, and Egg Bowl remaining. And a week off between Florida and Egg Bowl.
That Egg Bowl, that's the
You never know. All bets are off.
All bets are off.
Elijah Moore. Oh no.
And Mississippi State is not down. They're
pesky.
They beat Arizona. You know what? My final answer, I think, could be Georgia. Let's pull up Georgia.
Georgia.
No, I'm not going to go.
Okay, here we go. Georgia goes to Mississippi State, hosts Texas, hosts Charlotte, and then the neutral site against Georgia Tech. And the Bees have a lot to play for right now.
Yeah.
Because I think that ACC race is fascinating.
There's something about Texas that can play with Georgia.
Texas is also in this first ranking, the first team out of the field and at 7-2.
And so they're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Arch's first time facing them Georgia Bulldogs.
It would be between the hedges as well for that game.
I don't know, man. I'm just going to say Ole Miss. I mean, the easy pick is Virginia.
Yeah, just because of ACC potential chaos. Here's my team, though, Jay. Oregon.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, Oregon goes to Iowa this week. They host Minnesota, short turnaround, but again, it's at home, so you give them a little bit of an edge. Host USC, and then go to Washington to end the regular season. Oregon right now at 7-1. And really, Jay, its best win is on the road at Penn State. Otherwise, if you look at the rest of what Oregon's done, Montana State, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State, 10-point loss to Indiana, where they lost that game by a legitimate 10 points. That wasn't a fluke. Blowout Rutgers, and then beat Wisconsin in the last game. Oregon loses one of those. I don't know if that resume is going to stack up at 10-2.
So if they don't get in, and say, does Washington get in from the Big Ten?
If Washington or USC beats them as part of winning out in November, that's on the table. I don't know if Washington and USC play each other. I got to check that out here real quick. So USC's schedule, no, USC and Washington will not meet in the rest of the regular season. So whichever one of those two wins out could creep up there. The other next teams out, so Oklahoma at 7-2 and Utah at 7-2. Utah's got to win out, I think, be conference champion to get there. But the ACC, you're left with Virginia, Louisville, and Georgia Tech, all crammed in within 4 ranking spots of each other. So there's one of those 3 will likely be the ACC rep. But in terms of the non-auto bids, I think Oregon is on my list, and then Notre Dame with 2 losses. I don't know who necessarily would pass them. Maybe Oklahoma picks up another quality win and gets in. Maybe it's the Big Ten number 4 passes them. If Notre Dame loses another one, they're done. Pretty much all these teams with 2 losses should be there. But I'm really, really, really watching Oregon in terms of the teams that you would think of as a, right now, pretty surefire playoff team.
Yeah.
One slip up, and I think Oregon's gone.
Yeah, they don't have that strength of schedule, and they haven't looked aesthetically pleasing at times.
Which shouldn't matter, but absolutely does.
It matters, especially coming now down the stretch.
Especially because Troy Danon hates them having been at Washington. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And Mike Riley hates him having been at Oregon
nice
State.
Mike. Yeah, nice Mike. He going to get you. He going to get that last
Watch
little.
out.
Yeah, he going to get that last little. He going to smile too. You voting for Oregon? Yeah. No, you pushing no. Yeah, Oregon's in trouble. But this is what you want, man. You want it to come down that last 3 or 4 games, and that's what Matt Rule wanted, and that's why the USC game was so important, and it was a winner take all. We're talking about USC still alive.
Mm-hmm.
If we would have won, we would have been talking about Nebraska is definitely alive and the amped up of the rest of the season. So you're coming down the stretch as far as college football playoffs goes. There's no easy road. Ole Miss looks pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Lane's been pretty good in the Egg Bowl. That just fits his deal, right? And but he couldn't beat us though.
Right.
In high school. No, I'm just saying. But so in Georgia looks pretty good. So it's but I think the other ones are going to be very, very intense, and one bad quarter, one bad call can change the season. Not only change the season, but the college football playoffs. It happened last year.
Yeah.
I mean, SMU by losing, I think had to go. I know for a fact they had to go, and there was no easy game. But you go on the road to Penn State in the cold, or play Texas, right?
Yeah.
And Austin. A lot of players are familiar with each other.
Right.
You like your chances a little bit better on the road versus, or on the road in Austin versus Happy Valley. So,
down the street as opposed to on the road.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. I mean, I'd probably say Oregon has a chance to lose out because they play some. I think Washington's sneaky good, especially offensively. They've gotten better defensively. They got good athletes, and they're matching up. Offense, defense, and special teams are all in rhythm. In USC, if they could ever, I think about the thing about USC is they ran the ball really, really well against us. I just don't think they show up ready to play. I think they just kind of roll out there, and then we'll decide,
where USC will beat you.
We'll turn it up, and that's why I talked about Texas Tech. Now Texas Tech, I think, is well coached. And that's a really good, look in. A McGuire goes and gets a lot of different players out of the portal. Now they had a decent year the year before for them, but they added the players out of the portal, expensive players, but he's got them playing.
Yeah. And their season really feels like it comes down to this game against BYU.
Is it down? Where is that? Texas Tech?
It is in Lubbock.
Ooh, they throw tortillas out there.
They've been asked to refrain from throwing the tortillas.
Oh, they throwing tortillas out there.
Did you pick one up for a sideline snack when you went down there?
Listen, man, we flew into there to Lubbock, and I looked out the window.
And they were already throwing tortillas?
Nah, man, it was so windy when we went there.
Did they have the actual cartoon tumbleweeds going?
Yeah, it was. And I was like, how the hell you go to school down here? And it was that was part of their intimidation. We were just coming in there, just woof, woof. Boom. But then we brought the boom to him the next day.
That's the important part.
Yeah. That'll be interesting with BYU though. Those Mormons they're not Mormon, right?
BYU.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They're gonna hear some stuff that they ain't never
Eyes will be open.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go to church. They're gonna have to. Yeah, they're gonna have to do their thing, man. They're gonna be tuned up down there in Lubbock.
That'll be a fun one. We will keep monitoring the college football playoff rankings. My guess is we will have some movement, certainly in the Big 12 picture with BYU and Texas Tech playing this weekend. ACC one to monitor as well. We'll go to break, wrap up hour one of Old School in just a moment.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back wrapping up hour one of Old School. A couple more hours to go. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you here, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Couple things to get to here in basketball, Jay. One thing stood out to me. Memphis, the Tigers, not Memphis State anymore, but your boy, my boy, our boy, everybody's boy, Penny Hardaway was talking before the game. Just today, he said, we finally put in our defensive packages, and we just started putting in our offense right now. Our players played on the fly in our 2 exhibitions. Memphis is hours away from opening its season, and they're just now putting in packages. Do you believe that, or you think that's bluster from Penny?
I think he's posturing a little bit. Who they play?
Ooh, Memphis basketball schedule. Memphis opens the season. Why is it pulling the football schedule? That is not nice. Memphis has, how about this? They play San Francisco, the Dons, perennial NCAA bubble team.
Oh, yeah, they better. He probably start watching tape. He probably a little late to the party, like preparation-wise.
Here's Memphis' season opening schedule. San Francisco, they go to Ole Miss on Tuesday. Pretty good team. UNLV, who did just get upset by UT Martin, and Josh Pastner's return to college basketball in Memphis. They get Purdue in the Bahamas. Then they will play either Texas Tech or Wake Forest as well. They will also have Baylor, Louisville, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and a decent, North Texas is in conference. So
that's
pretty good
non-conference.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have your offense and defense installed.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, I can understand you go very, very basic, right? So you'll work on, you'll obviously have a couple, man-to-man different defenses and things that you want to do and throw in a couple of zones. Because I would be using the exhibitions as what they're supposed to be. Obviously, you want to win, but you want to see how guys react and see how it looks versus just doing against yourselves in practice. But you're practicing your game plan for your first 2 or 3 games because you should be doing advanced scouting on them, right? So that's what's a little odd. But maybe he's just saying that to lower expectations. Hey, we get,
Weird way to do it. Kind of puts the spotlight on you as a coach.
Yeah.
But,
I think Penny has plenty of leeway. I think, he's a good coach. I think he's in a sticky situation where as far as NIL money or rev sharing, where do you fit in? You know what I mean? And what can you do recruiting wise? So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Cubsker, how did Duke do against Texas? Blue Devils won it. Not necessarily easily. They trailed 33-32 at half, but Cam Boozer absolutely Cam Boozered in the second half, 15 points and 10 boards, leading the Devils to a win and a cover. Good teams win, great teams cover. Duke 75, Texas 60. In the NBA here really quickly, Jay, there's one undefeated team left in the NBA. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder, fresh off a championship last year. The Thunder only have the number 2 defense in the NBA, allowing 109.4 points per game. Do you know who the number 1 defense in the NBA is right now?
Timberwolves?
It is not the Timberwolves. It is the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, well, that's Wemby.
Victor Wembanyama, averaging 6 blocks a game, more than like 20 teams in the league, is allowing a league best 108.2 points per game. Spurs got off to their first 5-0 start, maybe in franchise history. Tim Duncan didn't do it. David Robinson didn't do it. But the San Antonio Spurs, second in the West with a 5-1 record. But maybe the biggest surprise of the early season, Nick Saner's Chicago Bulls are 6-1. The perennial play-in team is leading the East.
Is he a Bulls fan?
I mean, doesn't not outwardly root for them, but if he picked an NBA team, he said it would be Chicago.
Finally, they're getting some talent. I think that, Josh Giddey going there, he had a great year last year for him, considering how he left Oklahoma City, and he did, right? Yeah. They got White. They got some little pieces there. I mean, it's always.
Don't sleep on my boy Modest Buzelis.
Who's that?
G League Ignite stud. Went top.
Is that the Russian?
I don't think he's Russian, but yes, he's Eastern European of some sort.
Russian.
Okay.
I remember also he's Russian. Okay. Whether he likes it or not, he's Russian. Yeah.
I like him more. Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I shouldn't be disrespected there because I know I know this for a fact growing up in Minneapolis. There is a big.
He's Lithuanian, so he's Russian.
There is a big Eastern European community, right? And some of them went to my high school. And I learned real quickly. Yes. Hey, yeah, we were a melting pot. But listen, and they blended in well because you didn't know. I thought some of them looked like Vikings and stuff, but but I would say I asked them if they're Russian. They will stand on business. No, I'm Yugoslavian. Okay, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
No disrespect.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah, I had the dude. He was his name was Alex Stanowich. And I was like, man, you Russian? He was like, no.
Don't put that on me.
Yeah. I was like, okay, my bad. Yeah. I was, yeah. So it's they got a nice little team, man. They even got Patrick Williams and stuff like that. They'll be all right. I think they'll be all right, man. I think if they can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about Kobe White. He's out. You got my boy over there, the second coming of the White Mamba, Kevin Huerter.
Kevin Huerter.
Yeah,
New York Mr. Basketball, Kevin Huerter.
I didn't realize how cold he was when he was at Maryland.
Yeah.
Because he was like.
Because he's goofy.
He's goofy looking.
Yeah. He's a redhead.
Yeah. And he was cold. So.
Like Dante DiVincenzo has some of that like inner city cred to him, the Philly Nova toughness.
And
Kevin Huerter's from like upstate New York.
Yeah. And you're right. You're right. He up there went to like one of those like prep schools where they wore ties and stuff like that. But yeah, so I always kind of was a fan of him after, seeing him at Maryland. So we'll see what happens. I think he's averaging 13 points coming off the bench.
So Kevin Huerter, the pride of Shenandoah East High School in Clifton Park.
Nobody knows where that is.
I didn't know if you knew where that was, having spent some time up in New York. But
yeah, and I don't know if that's not Buffalo area.
It looks. Yeah, kind of off in the middle of nowhere. So it's just outside of Albany, actually.
There you go.
So middle of nowhere. Let's see here. Colgan J, don't forget NBA savior LaFlop is returning soon from sciatica. Cubsker, yes, as in former Bulls player and former Duke national champion Carlos Boozer's sons.
Is one better than the other? Because my brother went and watched them in their exhibition against Tennessee. And he's like one significantly better than the other.
The quote-unquote good twin is Cam Boozer. He's the one that went for 24 points, 23 boards against the Vols. Cam's legit. He's being talked about like surefire top 3 pick. Like young Kevin Love is the comp I've gotten for him. The brother Caden is not bad. He's kind of Trey Jones-ish. Probably more defense first, more passing, can score if needed to. Duke's got to figure out point guard. But it was actually pretty down to the wire between Duke and Miami, because the Boozers went to Christopher Columbus down there in Miami. And so Miami was really in on him. It didn't help Duke's fact.
Didn't Miami hire
Jay Lucas?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Former Duke assistant who Duke poached away from Kentucky. So it came down to those two schools, but they did end up picking Dad's alma mater in the end. So that'll be a good spot to stick a pin in that conversation. When we get back, let's get some NFL trade deadline reaction from our former NFL guy. Big moves being made. Big moves not being made. We'll break it all down next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine, and it will be breezy. The national high around 59. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds, below around 39. And tomorrow, we'll see increasing clouds throughout the day and continued breeze. The national high near 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket. and theticketfm.com.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Come watch the Lincoln Stars on November 7th as the Fargo Force come to town for $5 Friday. That means $5 mezzanine tickets, $5 nachos, $5 mixed drinks, and $5 off a purchase of $20 or more. It's $5 Friday with the Lincoln Stars at the Icebox on Friday, November 7th versus the Fargo Force. Get your tickets today at lincolnstars.com.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. It is hour 2 of Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you, 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by who, Jay?
The Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients at Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt/Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. I will say this. Huskers are out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on when, I got an announcement.
Announcement. All right.
I'm back in the game.
Oh, we're back?
I'm back in the game. I'm back.
Hello.
I'm back double in the game.
Double? Hello.
Oh, we leveling up, baby.
Not just back.
No, I'm not just the Michael Jordan sending in the facts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You're back like Jordan wearing the 4-5.
Exactly. Double time. Oh yeah, I'm hyped in a mug. Got me a Traeger from the Homeboy Hookup.
There we go.
Big shout out to my man Jason Peters over there at I3 Bank. Him and Aaron Bell. If you need any loans, they got you taken care of. Two of the coolest dudes from Western Nebraska. They think they think they both MacGyvers.
They might be.
They are. They're the what's it called when you're in not Cub Scouts, but you're the highest?
Oh, Eagle Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the highest of the highest.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Those are two dudes I'd probably take into the woods and to a street fight with me.
Ooh, that's a nice combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got the Traeger.
Yeah. And then I got in there. I thought I'm gonna give me a Rectech by the
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. We're gonna have a nice little winter, nice little spring coming out of there. And back to the Mercado, it's gonna be a little cool, but it's cool, but it's not too cool to get your smokers going. It's a late game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely. Sometimes you got to cook what's like in connection to the team that you're going to beat. Well, in California, boys, they don't eat meat. They out there eating like tofu. Yeah, exactly. Hummus.
Fish.
Yeah.
Fish meat is practically a vegetable.
Yeah, eat that light fish.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't eating the hard.
Tuna.
Yeah.
What are we doing out there?
Yeah. So we need to go get you some ribs. Yeah, because it's going to last you to the next week because it's going to be pretty nice next week.
Hizzlebear says, I have one as well, so I understand why you needed a loan to get one.
Yeah, all right.
But it's going to be worth it.
Oh, for sure.
For those of you who are not on stream, get there. Jay's eyes lit up in a way I haven't seen in a long time. You're so proud of leveling up. I'm so happy for you.
I came up like the mob, man. Well, first I knew it was going to be, I was tired from the post game.
Mm-hmm.
Tired from coming in on the inside the huddle. Answered the bell because I knew Harrison be on there, boy. He'd be like a substitute teacher. He'd be waiting for me. But so I did that. So I was taking a little nap before I had some other obligations. Got woke up out of my nap, and he was like, "Hey, man," and he had talked to me about it, and I, and we kind of do like a barterism. I whatever, but we kind of take care of each other. He probably really upgrading. But yeah, it's on and popping.
Congratulations.
And got some pellets too.
Woo!
So I got to stop by, get me a little bigger pellet container. Boy, I can tell you what, that my neighborhood gonna be popping. My neighborhood was already wary from when I got it up in there. If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. They're on high alert.
Right. I turned it up then because they're like, man, we can hear your music coming in there.
Now they smell your ribs, smell your brisket.
Yeah, because I was like, you lucky I ain't had that thump like I had in college. I'd be waking you guys up early.
And keeping you up late.
Yeah, I already got an HOA letter. They're like, man, you cut the grass at 7. Get up. This is summertime. Yeah, we got a schedule to get to. But yeah, the Mercado does a good job. I can't wait to go over there. There's one right by the crib.
There is.
Yeah. I'm going to light that place up like a Christmas tree.
If you are not in the same boat as Jay, you haven't leveled up yet, you can still stop by the Mercado for Fired Up Thursdays and Fridays. Tomorrow, Fired Up Thursday, they got nachos going on. For a cool $15, get nachos made with certified Piedmontese ground beef, all the fixings for just $15, and then a steak parm sandwich on Fired Up Friday.
Hey, your boy Will High said he wants some ribs. He knows what's up.
Kirk Kenny knows what's up. Now he wants some St. Louis style. I don't know.
He wants them little baby backs.
I'll
hook them up.
That's what you do. You get the homeboy hookup, you give the homeboy hookup.
Yeah, man. Man. And you know who got hooked up, though, yesterday?
The Indianapolis Colts.
Or
the New York Jets. That's a lot of first-round picks they got.
But they listen. The New York Jets are equivalent to getting free golf clubs and everything, and they just set the house on fire. They don't. It's great that you get those picks because number one, they're going to end up trading them away or doing something, or they're going to mess them up.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if they got them? That's just like Chicago Bears getting number one. So, but the Indianapolis Colts. Here's what I like about the Indianapolis Colts is, Carly Ursay Gordon, and obviously Jim Irsay's daughter, is strategically. I like it because she's aggressive and she's supporting her coach for the bid to win now. Because I guarantee these conversations were, I want to win now as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
He made the decision to go with Daniel Jones, and he explained it to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She said, okay.
She was taking notes
right?
the whole time.
Oh, she was taking notes. She was taking voice notes and everything, right? And she was looking at your eyes through the cameras. And she said, okay, well, show me. Well, then he's shown her up to this point, and she's heavily involved, so she knows it's real. So she's rewarded him. On the flip side, when you look at the Tennessee Titans, when I'll call her Mrs. Adams, I don't know her first name, where she's fired all those coaches based on decisions that they've made, which I don't think is right, but they have, right? And
well,
so
coaches and GMs.
Coaches and GMs. Yeah, thanks for correcting me. Hey,
one after the other all the time.
You know, she's like, how bad do you want this meeting? Right? Because it's like, you get this meeting. Well, you know you fired if you don't wake up. You know, and then once you get into the office, you know, they lock the door. You know you ain't leaving. You're dead straight. So I think the Colts have done it. Now, I don't know if I would have gave up 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner, this version of Sauce Gardner. I expect him to be motivated, rejuvenated. I think the last 2 years, in the way that the from Woody Johnson to firing Robert Saleh and all that, I think that the firing of Robert Saleh affected that team more than he could think of. And then you had, you know, Aaron Rodgers had his buddy being the coach, and then, you know, it was just a mess. That could take a lot out of a player.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they hadn't won anything, but they had a really good defense, and then so they're not used to winning. So you go into self-preservation mode. Now, it's not right, but
it happens.
I think him in a new situation with a winning team, I think you're going to get the best version of him. And I like how Lou calls his defenses. I think they've made moves to potentially go against the Chiefs. If the Ravens, or I think they match up well. I think they got a little bit of a look and see with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the matchup with Buffalo. I like the move.
The bet for Indy is that you get All-Pro Sauce back, and that those 2 first-round picks, number 1, will be wasted by the Jets, and number 2, that you won't have holes to fill. The timeline works out pretty well for the Colts because pretty much all their core is signed through 27.
Yeah.
You gave up your
So
26 and 27 first-round picks. The other good thing I like about this for the Colts, Jay, is that they don't have to be the ones to extend Gardner. If he was coming in looking for a contract as a rental or an expensive extend, I don't know if I would have liked that as much. But because you have, $30 mil per year on average is a lot, but it's going to end up being below market by the time it comes around.
If he plays well.
And
by the time if he plays well the rest of this year and next year, they'll be more than willing to come back to him because they'll be able to move some money around. Now, the biggest thing,
if the window doesn't work out, they don't get one. He's still playing well.
Right.
Still a
Then they can
tradable contract.
Right. Still tradable contract. And then it's somebody else's obligation to pay him. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Anthony Richardson. Right. Because he's getting to that point. Now, you know, Daniel Jones is obviously your present day future.
And you don't make this move for Sauce Gardner unless you think an extension could be coming.
Right. And a reasonable one.
Yeah.
And not way below market value, but a reasonable one. So I like it. And they got rid of Mitchell because I think he was a headache. I think he's extremely talented, but he's extremely immature. So I think the Colts made big moves. Dallas made big moves.
Quinnen Williams from the Jets. How about that? And Wilson from the
Logan
Bengals.
Wilson. I'm going to tell you, both of those guys are the same. When they're on their game, Logan Wilson isn't as dominant as Williams was.
Right.
And I don't know what it was or what's the deal. I think they've added outside pass rushers. I think at one time him and Leonard Williams were together, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So he's kind of been the focus of a lot of people's offensive line and offensive game plans. For him, it is a level up going from the Jets to Dallas, because playing for Dallas and Jerry Jones is a level up.
Mhm.
And even though they're not in the playoff hunt, I think both of them have a chance to, I wouldn't say resurrect their career, but get in legitimate situations where they're not being jacked around. Especially what they did in Cincinnati, Logan Wilson, is uncalled for. He's your defensive leader.
Mhm.
Sure, you just drafted this dude. You could have traded him before the season, because
Mhm.
if you're going to go to him this early in the season, you never wanted him to be there in the beginning, and you're not playing any defense anyway.
Right.
So Jerry made some moves. I guess it's for next year. They ain't going nowhere this year.
Right.
Unless they get on a hot streak, they can kind of wild card their way in there, but they need some help.
They got a bye week this week. Interesting timing to help integrate Quinn and Williams a little bit.
And Wilson.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a little less concerned about Wilson at linebacker, but Williams, I mean, they have they've played some 5 down. Reason I did against the Cardinals, read a pretty good breakdown about it. Integrating Wilson with Kenny Clark, who they got in the Micah Parsons trade, and the one other consistent defensive tackle they have. I forget the name right now.
Yeah.
I think Logan Wilson can fit in pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think integrating Quinn and Williams in what the new stuff they want to do is figuring out rotations. I think having an extra week could help them.
It's going to help out. I mean, Quinn Williams is going to go there and probably start along with Walker. Walker's a little bit long in the tooth. I think they'll be all right. I mean, they're doing some stuff. Now I think the biggest thing with the Cowboys is getting it all together. And this is the bye week. They could go on a run, but they got to get, out of the starting blocks coming right out of the bye week. This is not a time for guys on that team, in particular, to go on vacation.
Right.
And like you're losing right now. You guys are playing below standard. So this is Jerry Jones trying to salvage this season and also in the immediate next season. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you this. I said it earlier. The main dude that's mad though. You know exactly who he is. Breece Hall.
Man.
Listen, they had practice. Here's the thing. Wednesday practice in the NFL is like, that's it. It's your hardest day of the work week. Wednesday and sometimes Thursday. Mostly, for sure, Wednesday. I know for a fact he thought he was going somewhere. I know for a fact his agent probably called and said, man, look like you're going to Kansas City. He's from this area.
Yeah. We know what he looks like in red and yellow.
And you talking about fitting in.
Yeah.
Whew. You talking about an X factor?
Mhm.
That dude and Andy Reid coming down the playoffs.
With Simmons back.
And then the agent says it's 401. It didn't go through. And here's the thing. I said this
because the
earlier.
Jets wanted a third, not a fourth.
Yeah, and stood on business. Here's the thing, and it got too good to them. They like, we already fleeced Indianapolis. We getting everybody.
And Dallas, the
Yeah,
first and
Dallas,
second.
Yeah. They really thought they were doing
come on.
Yeah. They really doing it right. He was this close for being coached by Andy Reid and playing with Patrick Mahomes and playing for the Chiefs, which he's never done before. This close. And I said it earlier on the drive. I played with Elijah Manning. All right. That's who I played with. Eli showed up the next year in the playoffs. You miss out. But now that he knows he don't want to be there, what do? Because he's a running back. Like, bro, you're
gonna ship me out anyways.
You were okay with it. I didn't want to be here either.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to make the playoffs with 1-7, 1-8. Yeah.
He traded the 2 best players on the team.
Boy, my hamstring will get tight.
Real quick. It's cold up here late in the year.
Oh man, it was a hamstring tight.
On that note, the other moves I think were made, some fringe moves by the Ravens, not for a star, but added a couple interesting kind of experienced veteran pieces. The Jags add Jacoby Myers from Vegas, and the Seahawks add Shaheed from New Orleans. But Jay, it's really the moves that didn't get made, especially in the AFC. You mentioned Kansas City and Breece Hall, but even an edge rusher for them, I think, is a place that they are interested in Buffalo, potentially wide receiving help. If Shaheed was available for 4th and 5th, Buffalo had picks out there. On the one hand, I get it. Those are your front runners, your stalwarts in the AFC. We're fine. We'll figure it out. We'll come together.
No, this is the second year in a row, man.
But man, Kansas City had opportunities. It couldn't get over the finish line. Buffalo had opportunities. Didn't do it. It's a little questionable why they wouldn't make moves as opposed to say, Denver and New England, who are kind of at the start of their window. Let's see what we got this year.
Buffalo is more concerning than Kansas City. You got Pachenko, and you got
whatever's left of Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt, which, in his role, he's fine.
Sure.
But those two together are at Breece Hall. So you would have got essentially 2 running backs, in Breece Hall deal. So Kansas City's not that big a deal. I would have probably maybe even thought Kansas City might have tried to trade for like a rotational kind of like backup offensive lineman, like guy that can play,
sure.
just because of what happened last year.
Swing tackles.
Remember Tooney had to play left tackle at times,
Yeah.
and so Buffalo, this is the, whether it's the Stephon Diggs situation where they didn't sign DeAndre Hopkins when he took a, restructured contract.
Yeah.
And then, last year they didn't, who'd they trade for? Or
Amari
Cooper. And then you didn't re-sign him. Now he eventually retired, but you got to feel that though, because Keon Coleman can't get off a jam. He can't separate. Shakir's good, but then everybody else is just trying to figure it out. To get somebody that can take the top off with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And can outrun coverages and really, and it's not only that, he can go run through different windows in the zone or deep zones and open up their deep over routes, which then allows everybody else to be more effective.
But they didn't even go get their like Valdez Scantling.
Yeah, they didn't get any. I mean, I know they believe in what they're doing. I don't know if they're up against the cap, but I would have. And then also for them, with Ed Oliver being out for quite some time, you would have liked to see them trying to trade for some defensive tackle help. I know Kansas City just traded for the defensive tackle that was at Baltimore that came back.
Pennell.
Yeah, he just came back, and he was a starter for him.
Yeah.
So those are guys that you can get that can fill roles and they're veteran present. Heck, you know
Could
what?
you have tried to be the third team to get Mazzie Smith as a rotational guy, something like that for Buffalo?
Yeah, and he's weird though, because it was like when he was drafted in the first round, I was like, I didn't know who he was. Hasn't fit well into Dallas. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Because he's a first round pick, is like prove it. Heck, I know Harrison Phillips is out. If I'm Buffalo, I try to get him back.
Sure.
He's been there, been successful. Trade for him. What are you going to give up, a 6th, 7th round pick that's conditional based on how you do? So yeah, they missed a couple opportunities to fix some holes or plug some holes. That's unfortunate too.
But really, no one in the NFC made any moves. So it's not like Kansas City and Buffalo were alone in that. It's stunning from them. Philly went out and got Jalen Phillips, but Detroit didn't really do anything. The Rams didn't do anything. Seahawks made a marginal move. Yeah, the NFC was really quiet.
Yeah. Vikings didn't do anything.
No. Packers made their one splash earlier.
Yeah, they didn't really do anything. I mean, it's all the teams had chances to do stuff, and there's plenty of guys out there that are proven that they could have went and got, especially off of some, lower end teams. I'm surprised that Dallas. I wouldn't have been surprised if Dallas went and tried to get Myles Garrett. All of a sudden, he's disgruntled.
Interesting.
All of a sudden, he don't want to be in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, he probably never wanted to be in Cleveland, but that check make you want to be there.
Oh, right.
That check. That's a perfect example. He was down and he was down at Radio Row during the Super Bowl. He's like, I hate Cleveland. I haven't talked to them a couple months. 2 weeks later, I can't. I'm all in. We're gonna win.
My favorite place on earth.
Favorite place on earth. I believe in what we're doing. Frustration, and he's never gonna win there.
Is anyone?
I don't know. It's tough, man. You got all that money tied up in the quarterback position. You don't know what the deal's with ownership. Stefanski's on the hot seat. He's stuck in his ways, it seems like. I think he's a good offensive mind. He kind of comes from that Brad Childress type of deal, like kind of really set in their ways. But I think they just made a couple of crucial bad moves. I mean, you signed Deshaun Watson to play in a system that is not even close to his strengths.
No.
Because when he was in Houston and when he was rolling, when he was thought of as better than Patrick Mahomes, obviously until he
Went off the chain.
I don't know what you call what he was doing outside of work, but
got too loose.
But he was playing in a more NFL-like RPO system,
Mm-hmm.
and it was more like Kansas City.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Right, a lot of ways, and he was doing more with less because that system allows him, kind of like Cam Newton, where he can control the whole game and he's an unstoppable force. And then you go and try to put him in a West Coast offense where Kirk Cousins is successful. That's another dude.
Where are you, Kirk Cousins?
He's in Atlanta. But I mean,
is he though?
No, he's
physically, but
mentally he is back in Michigan or wherever he has his house in the off season. I mean, you just imagine for all the stuff that Kirk Cousins they hate. I mean, you got to give him credit. Look, him and his agent played this, franchise tag because of the Washington franchise. Didn't want to commit to him. He goes to Minnesota, starts off slow, ends up doing really well, and makes a lot of money.
Gets Justin Jefferson paid.
Gets everybody paid.
Adam Thielen paid.
And since he's been gone, he's appreciated a lot more because he actually was better than what people give him credit for, right? And he kind of got out of his. He was very you remember that one time when he was talking? He was he was really upset, because he was like, it needs to be this way. He's grown past that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him with the chains and all that, and he's kind of, became a true Viking. And then they lowballed him. He wants to go down to Atlanta, gets paid. He turns around, they draft the first round draft choice. Then he plays.
It might not be that good.
He plays well, and that's another discussion. He plays well, and then he gets hurt. Plays through it as a leader quarterback that you want,
and
they're like, "Oh yeah, man, your arm strength ain't that good. Don't you sit down?" And then they come back and they're like, "No matter what you do, you ain't playing." So he's just CTC collecting the check,
and they're just lighting money on fire
because nobody would trade for him, or they wouldn't trade him. So the fact that they wouldn't trade Kirk Cousins lets you know Michael Penix isn't that good,
right? But they're also not willing to play Kirk Cousins because they wouldn't believe in Michael Penix. Arthur Blank, what is you doing?
Yeah, what's the GM's name?
Is it not Dimitrov? I think he left.
No, it's like it begins with a T or something like
that. Terry Fontenot.
Terry Fontenot.
There we go. What are you doing?
Just imagine how many. Hey, can you come to my office for lunch? Don't worry, I know what you're eating. Clear the rest of your day clear the rest of your calendar for the day. Me and you need to talk. Yeah, man. That's tough. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on November 7th as the Fargo Force come to town for $5 Friday. That means $5 mezzanine tickets, $5 nachos, $5 mixed drinks, and $5 off a purchase of $20 or more. It's $5 Friday with the Lincoln Stars at the Icebox on Friday, November 7th versus the Fargo Force. Get your tickets today at lincolnstars.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you, but we're headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Let's head to that VIP line and bring in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, who is in attendance for the Nebraska blackout against USC. Evan, let's start there. Your reaction to the environment that Nebraska created and then the 21-17 loss to the Trojans just on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere was unbelievable. I mean, it was, I think it's hard for Husker Nation to sort of top itself. Like, you just kind of take for granted the sellouts and what they do in a lot of these sports. But the way that they brought that blackout together was next level stuff. I mean, from the end zones to Lil Red's hat being black to the balloons, you know, it was a strong effort, really strong effort from the university, but it was also, I thought, equally or a greater, impression was made by the fan base. Like, we've seen kind of some grassroots blackout attempts through the years, and it's kind of patchy, or it has been at times. I thought this was, 98% black. So just an outstanding atmosphere. You heard USC players and coaches talk about it too. And I think Lincoln Riley said he thought it might have swung, 7 to 10 points in Nebraska's favor just from that. So one of those weekends that we probably still haven't seen the final impact on when you talk about recruiting. But certainly one of the more unique environments that Nebraska's ever had at Memorial Stadium. Unfortunately, for what Nebraska was going for, you're not going to remember that being associated with a win and ending that drought against ranked teams. But it's just another reminder that in this time when, fan support means probably as much or more than it has in recruiting in college football, that Nebraska's got, a group that's right near the top and one that can continue to, impress recruits no matter how many stars they have, no matter where they're from.
We'll start with the defense because there's plenty of discussion to go around on the Nebraska football offense. Mixed bag, holding USC to 21 points seems like a mark in the positive column, as does holding Jaden Mayava to 135 yards on 9 completions and 23 attempts. Nice interception from Andrew Marshall, a no USC receiver, really killed Nebraska, no one with more than 2 catches. But the flip side of that is the run game. Over 200 yards allowed on the ground, over 6 yards per carry when you look at the sack-adjusted rushing yards. real mixed bag from the Nebraska defense in the loss. Evan, John Butler was asked about that. What did you make of how he digests that mixed bag that his defense put out there on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell just from his tone, like a lot of it mattered less because they didn't get the job done and weren't able to finish it. But I thought, and he said that they were able to limit the big plays from USC, and like the numbers and the points are, I think, what you want to have, and especially when you put that in context with what USC had done coming into the game as a top 5 scoring offense and the number 1 passing attack, and really outside of that flea flicker, like Nebraska largely held them in check in that regard. And I think the message from Matt Rule and somewhat from John Butler too was like, yeah, it's never going to be acceptable to allow 200 plus rushing yards. But I think when you look again at the different ways that USC has beaten teams with Jaden Mayava's arm, with that fleet of receivers, like you have to pick your poison. And so Nebraska was largely able to take away the aerial game, and they kept their safeties back, invited USC to run, which they did. King Miller had his moments, but they still never ripped kind of that long scoring run that Nebraska gave up against Michigan and a couple other opponents. So I think, yeah, those are not numbers that you want, but it's also true that I don't think Nebraska is going to be playing UCLA and Penn State and Iowa the same way that they're playing USC, just because the passing attack of those 3 teams isn't nearly as explosive or formidable. So, I think the coaches acknowledge, and I think this is true, that the game plan was a good one. Like, you have to kind of pick your spots and what you want to do, and they largely did that until things changed in the last quarter and a half. But when Matt Rule says that across the board, much of that defense played its best football at Nebraska, like that gets your attention, and to me, that's a group now you watch a little more closely at UCLA and see how much of that can carry over the rest of the season.
You mentioned things that changed in the last quarter and a half, that being the quarterback, first and foremost for Nebraska. Dylan Raiola goes down, believed to be an ankle injury at first, turns into a season-ending broken right fibula surgery upcoming for Dylan Raiola, who will not travel with the team to UCLA. Let's start with how you thought TJ Lateef handled the moment, Evan. Some good, some bad, but what'd you make of TJ Lateef's first action in Big Ten play on Saturday?
Yeah, I think he flashed the talent that you want to see in a guy who is viewed as the successor for Dylan Raiola long term, but you also were reminded that this is a guy who's still a true freshman, and a year ago at this time was playing high school football. Like, you had I thought maybe his best throw was the incompletion, that deep ball to Isaiah Hunter down the sideline. I mean, it was right where it needed to be, but there was just a better defensive play from the USC DB. So, like, I think you can look at a sequence like that and say, okay, what can that look like now with a week to plan and to scheme, with Lateef. His progressions, he didn't really go through a ton of them to my eyes. Like, when he was passing, he was maybe looking at his first, maybe second option and then tucking it and running if that wasn't there. But he had that, even on that fumbled snap, like you heard Matt Rule say, that was a play that Lateef checked into because of the coverage that he saw on the back end. And if he had handled the football cleanly, like, it looked like a tunnel screen to Ja'Cory Barney, was wide open for a score. So somebody who has, I think, the mental chops that you want from a quarterback. And now, like, the big question for me is, like, what does his running ability do to maybe shake some things loose within the offense? Like, I think his threat to use his legs could actually make Emmett Johnson more effective, just because if you're a linebacker now, like, you got to take an extra beat and make sure that Lateef's actually handing it off to Johnson as opposed to pulling it and running himself. And, it could open up potentially some play action stuff that wasn't available quite as much too, just because of that dual threat that Lateef is. So it's a fascinating, I think, game coming up, fascinating rest of the month to see how Nebraska integrates him into the offense. And, I do think it's possible that other players will benefit more around Latif, maybe just in different ways than what Dylan did, just because of that fleet of foot ability.
Not that we've seen a bunch of TJ Latif to this point, obviously, but when you look at the last 4 dual threat quarterbacks Nebraska has had, Taylor Martinez, Tommy Armstrong, Adrian Martinez, and Heinrich Harburg, do you see, any of those guys or TJ Latif maybe fitting into the mold or the box of one of those 4 guys more than another?
Well, I mean, like a lot of those guys were like their running ability was incredibly explosive. Like you think of Taylor Martinez was a human game breaker for what he could do, and Adrian Martinez sort of had those moments too. You left out Jeff Sims. He had a couple of games where where he could do some things with his legs. So I don't know. Probably Adrian, I guess, kind of comes to mind. They have similar recruiting backgrounds from the same state of California, and guys who I think were just as known for their arms as their legs. Like I don't think Latif's not a guy who's an athlete playing quarterback. Like he's a quarterback who can run. And I think that's an important distinction, because he does, like when he's going at his best, like he wants to drop back and pass. And if it's a called run or if it's a situation where you have to scramble, so be it. I think that's kind of what Adrian Martinez was at times. I know Nebraska sort of leaned on his legs probably too much later in his career, but I don't see that being the situation with Latif, where Nebraska runs him into the ground the way they did with a guy like, even Luke McCaffrey a few years ago. So I think it's a situation where you pick your spots, you make him run, 5-6 times in a game, make the defense account for it and respect it, and maybe be a step slower adjusting to it. And then you let him play quarterback and run a lot of the same plays that they would run for Dylan. And, you're still going to have a heavy dose of Emmett Johnson to relieve some of that pressure. The offensive line is going to be motivated to do their part. So it's not a deal where Nebraska is turning to Latif to put on the cape and, be the guy who saves the day. Like they feel like if he operates within what they want to do offensively, like his accuracy, his mental processing ability and all that is going to be enough to score enough points and to keep Nebraska competitive.
Jay and I were talking about that, just debuts of those 4 guys that I mentioned. Taylor Martinez's debut, he had 7 carries for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns against Western Kentucky, 9 of 15 through the air. Adrian Martinez, though, his debut against Colorado, 15 attempts on the ground for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as 20 attempts throwing the ball. I think Tommy Armstrong's another interesting one, where he in his first start against South Dakota State threw the ball double-digit times, only ran at 7, but ran for about 38 yards. That's kind of what I would expect, Evan, is maybe TJ Latif has some of that game breaker to him in the long run. But I think that the first step for Nebraska, and I think to your great point about TJ Latif's legs opening things up for Emmett Johnson, after seeing Dylan Raiola pull it a couple times against USC, if TJ Latif can scamper for a first down on a zone read keeper, or, it's 3rd and 6 and he can keep the chains moving that way, I don't think TJ Latif needs to be responsible for explosive runs, but I think just the threat, 6 or 7 times a game, get 5 or 6 yards a pop, that'll do so much to keep UCLA's edge guys that are trying to condense the formation really back on their heels.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like you show it, he can do it. And that was his game in high school too. Like he wasn't a guy who was running around improvising. Like he did it within the scheme of what he did, at the high school level. And it can set, like, if you're Dana Holgerson and you want those explosive plays, then like the run sets that up. Like, I think just that Nebraska can do a good job of that, where you zone read, and then all of a sudden he drops back and, Dane Key or Corey Barney or Hunter's streaking down the field, for a big play. I think that makes defenses more susceptible to screens at times too. That's something Nebraska's had some luck with this year. So it's a tougher challenge for Latif in the sense that the opponent's not an overmatched non-conference foe. but he does have the benefit, I think, of a lot of older guys around him. When you talk about a senior like Dane Key or an older offensive line, or Emmett Johnson, who's been one of the most productive backs at the FBS level, he has that luxury to be able to put the ball in play and let those other guys work, as opposed to having to generate a lot of this stuff on his own.
You mentioned the schedule that Nebraska has coming up. UCLA before a bye week, then at Penn State and against Iowa on Black Friday to end the regular season. Evan, is your perception of Nebraska's final record, has that changed at all with Dylan Raiola now out of the picture and TJ Lateef as the starter? Or do you think that, Dylan Raiola was clearly the starter, he's a better player, but what Nebraska could hope to accomplish is still about the same, even with TJ Lateef at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I said 8-4 before the season. I would stick with that. I think of the last three on paper, UCLA would be the one that you feel like you need to probably get the most, where you have the best chance to win. I know, Vegas considers Nebraska a slight underdog there, but it's a team with an interim coach that just had to chew on getting blown out by Indiana for 2 weeks. Their home environment in the Rose Bowl, while majestic, is not exactly intimidating. I mean, history says it could be 40% Nebraska fans on Saturday night. So, there's every reason to think that you can still go in there and the defense will do what it does. And, their great challenge is going to be stopping UCLA's quarterback, who leads them in rushing and passing. So, maybe I think that's as big a story as what we're talking about on Nebraska's offensive side is, can you lock down on that mobile quarterback? They've struggled with, Brendan Sorsby earlier in the year, and Aiden Childs for Michigan State gave him fits at times, and Bryce Underwood had his moments for Michigan. So I think that's the other big challenge, is you can't just play the guy straight up. If you're the black shirts, you have to account for his ability and his willingness to run, in addition to playing straight passing game.
And we've seen Nebraska rely on quarterbacks that much, where they are both the leading passer and the leading rusher, that on the one hand, those guys do get worn down toward the end of the year. Maybe that contributed to some of Nebraska's turnover woes and lack of ability to get over the hump in November when they were asking so much of the quarterback. But the flip side of that is, Evan, like you said, UCLA coming off a bye week, maybe there is a little bit of extra gas in the tank. What do you anticipate Nebraska doing? How do you think they go about compensating for Nico Iamaleava and even still some of the talented weapons that he has around him?
Yeah, I mean, you have to account for it with an extra defender staying on him. You're not able to sort of sell out against the pass as much like you would be. So if you're a linebacker, if you're, Javen Wright or Vincent Shavers, you got to pick your spots. When he's dropped back, are you reading your keys and knowing, hey, this is when I can burst after him, or do I need to drop back and stay on my man? Sometimes you get caught somewhere in between, and for the defensive line, it's kind of that relentless pursuit where, you want to flush him from the pocket, but you also want to be sure that you're sending him toward the sideline or in a direction toward other defenders. So a good defensive play doesn't suddenly become a bad one because the guy improvised on the other side. So it's one of those situations where you gotta have a game plan. You have to be disciplined in that game plan. I kind of like what Matt Rule says sometimes, where it's do your job and then go make a play. I think that's kind of the mentality that they have to have. Do what you have to do, fill your gap, meet your assignment. But then if you get to a point when that's fulfilled and you can, go above and beyond that and make a play, this is a game where you're probably going to have more improvisation that's going on, and we'll see if Nebraska's up for handling it.
Late kick on Saturday for the Huskers, 8:00 Central Time. Evan, will you be watching that with the beautiful view of the San Gabriel Mountains or from your couch at home?
I'll be there. Yeah, I've never been to the Rose Bowl. That's I've got 2 Big Ten places to check off the list. This is one of them, so really looking forward to it.
There we go. Exciting news. Safe travels out there. Enjoy the game. We'll talk again next week, Evan.
Thanks, Austin. See ya.
Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, which is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll be back with White Boy Wednesday, leading you into Whiteboard Wednesday. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back, wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Austin Foreman and Jay Foreman here. Get to stream Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Allo Channel 961. We got Whiteboard Wednesday kicking off hour 3 here at 5 o'clock. But first, Jay, it's White Boy Wednesday, and there's no direction this could go.
Yeah.
Other than a shout out to the pride of Lincoln Southwest High School, Braden Frager.
Hey.
Young man standing on business in his Nebraska debut on Monday night. Game's leading scorer with 22 points, 8 of 11 overall. Hits Nebraska's first 3 of the day. Throws down a cold one-handed alley.
Slam bam a la Gazam. It looked like those.
Put a late charge into the crowd.
Houston Cougars 5 a jam. Yeah.
So, Braden Frager, White Boy Wednesday, stand
man.
up.
Yeah, man. You might make some of our listeners mad talking about White Boy Wednesday. They might think
it's funny.
It is.
It is very funny.
It was funny when you said it, though, or when somebody texted it, because that's what it sounded like, but it really wasn't. I mean, Braden Frager is doing well. I mean, Fred has talked about him, glowingly. How much he's improved.
Wanted to burn the red shirt last year, but held off.
And he did a good job of reclassifying, graduate early or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he classified up.
Yep.
Used a year to mature. Probably use a year to mature in college versus high school.
Mm-hmm. Weight room, all that good stuff.
Yeah, weight room, maturing. He needed to mature off the court. He's done so. And sometimes you mature when you're around Fred has a really good team and guys that are mature and he's put in the work and you gotta be happy. He's a local product, so that you can play basketball good in Nebraska. So that's starting to, and they got some other Nebraska guys too. Cale Jacobson, obviously Sam, Justin. So you got to be happy for him, man. He's a good athlete. I had told him, and and not anymore. I had told him, yeah, that basketball thing's cool, man. You probably going to go D1, but you go first round in the NFL though if you want to continue to play outside linebacker. And I was dead serious because he played at Southwest and was a DN, and he was hellified.
Nebraska TJ Watt.
That's what I told him. I said the fat is in.
Go get your money.
Yeah, get your money. But you know what? He bet on himself. So, congrats to him, man.
Braden Frager, shout out on White Boy Wednesday. Whiteboard Wednesday, breaking down UCLA. That's next on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy. An afternoon high around 59. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds. The low around 39. And tomorrow, we'll see increasing clouds throughout the day and continued breeze. An afternoon high near 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, the New School Way. It's 5 o'clock hour. We do this every Wednesday. Whiteboard Wednesday, Black Shirt Breakdown. What could possibly come down the pipe to look for as a Husker fan, and obviously everybody's a coach, and everybody can be up sometimes. Well, hopefully we're elated after the game. Don't be upset like my man Jake taking arrows, but it turned around for Jake, and hopefully it turns around for the Huskers. This weekend out there in Pasadena. Old School brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients at Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. Also want to give a shout out to AMI, Advanced Medical Imaging as well. This right here is, I don't know what Nebraska, really runs, per se or anything like that. But this right here is essentially they're playing Penn State. So I'd like to prepare for opponents when they are playing their best. And this was a huge game for them, right? The first time Skipper is the head coach. Jerry Neuheisel is the OC. So this is what you're going to see here versus earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. So this is a cover 4 look, right? And then Penn State was very vanilla, right? You got a, quarter here, right there, quarter here, a little bit of off, quarter here. And you see him playing a little bit of a press because he's on the backside of a 3-by-1, right? In 11 personnel. That's 1, 1, 2, 3 receivers to the field or away from you.
Talk about playing press on the backside of
You
trips
can
there.
play press. You can play a little bit of inside man, depending on where they're at. They're on the right hash here.
What's the theory for that, though?
Well, your backside, you're essentially one-on-one, right? You don't want to play outside man on the backside of 3x1, and you're giving up a quick slant.
Gotcha.
So you can play cover 3 with a little bit of cover 2 principles, and you can roll and just push him to the sideline. It makes this guy's job a lot easier so he can favor this side in cover 4 if you do a really good job here. So you can do 2 things at once, right? So they're in a cover 4 look. They are in Jerry Neuheisel, right? You know, boy wonder, whiz kid, very good play caller. Obviously grew up in the film room with his dad. His dad was a really good play caller. I went against him a few times, and actually I ran into him in Indianapolis. I was on the same flight. You know, we were going to Big Ten Media Days a couple of years ago. He's still mad about losing to Nebraska, but you weren't close. But anyways, they are going to read this guy right here. This is a hard drop right here. He is reading 3 to 2, and actually he has 4 this way. He has 4 guys that are already predetermined. So this is what we used to call flood. That means the zone is flooded, right? That's 3 or more guys going to one side. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys are already on that side of football. I'll get that off of there. All right. So let me get that back. There we go. Flood. So what's going to happen is they're going to read off of him because he's reading off of 2 guys here. The number 2 guy and number 3. He needs to play deep to short. He's a flat defender, but he's playing deep to short because there's more guys over there. And this guy here, right, with the flood is reading off of 4 and 3, and this is his help. All right.
Okay,
So
yep.
to explain this to you, so if they're going 4 that way and he comes under, that's his guy, right? Then that expands this linebacker over here. You have to communicate during a play to these 2. So what this defense is doing, or what this coverage is doing, and actually I'm going to go to see if I can get this over here, right? I know what I'm doing right here. Nope, I don't. Hold on, I got it. We're going to go to the very end here because I always like to show the cover 4 right here. So what they're trying to do, I put it up here, is they're trying to stress these 2 right here.
Are those both linebackers, or is the first deep to short guy, is that a nickel?
Penn State plays different. They have a guy number 24 that kind of looks a little bit like a will or kind of a hybrid nickel. They like to play nickel. They feel like their defensive line is pretty good. This guy in the middle is a middle linebacker. I've played both of these. This is high alert right here. And this guy back here has to control. He has to be the conductor. And you can switch guys right here, right? Like I'd put Farley out there. I like my chances here, and put a run and hit guy, maybe Farley here, Jamel Williams. You could kind of, divvy it up based on your skill set, right? So it's a cover 4 drop. They are reading this guy here. Whoops. They are reading him. And watch what they do to him. It's actually pretty slick, right? So they come at him with an RPO option, and they're going to read his shoulders. And what did we see that early? This is a staple. This lets you know Jerry Neuheisel is along that Lincoln Riley type of play calling. We saw this with USC against Notre Dame. They are reading this guy here. I have him highlighted, right? They're reading him, and they're reading his shoulders. So what the slot receiver is going to do, come up, fake like he's going to block, then he's going right up the seam. We used to call it a trail route. You're running them off here, you're trailing them right here, and you sit down. It's an explosive play.
Because that outside defensive back is supposed to go with him. Don't get beat deep.
Yeah, he's playing quarters. And so the great thing about it is if you play deep to short, you'll be there. But if they're reading this guy's shoulders, right? If he stays on him and comes up in the flat, they're throwing it here. If he stays deep, they're going to throw to the flare route or the tight end going into the flat. So you have emergencies. You're putting them in a no-win situation, and they're testing your patience as a flat defender. And don't be like Jay Foreman, like against the Jets, where I took the flat in this same type of concept, and I gave up a 7 cut for explosive play. This young man did the same. Watch this right here. They're just reading his shoulder. So what they're trying to do is get a Nebraska defender playing overly aggressive. It's in take a shot area, right? So take a shot necessarily doesn't mean they're going for a touchdown. They're going for explosive play. They're going to try to we have a really good defender in Sierra Wright, so we have a better chance than maybe this guy here, because sometimes when you watch the tape, he looks a little bit, out of sorts some, because you even see this right here, the way they're playing it. This linebacker needed to expand over here and talk to him. He's staying here reading the quarterback still and looking at the running back. They're looking at his shoulders. They know he's going to kind of bite up on this flare or on this flat route, and look at the result here. Right there, Nico's already in. I think this is right here. I got to get one of these out of here. He's already in. I messed this up. He's already in throwing it, and it ended up being an explosive play for 30 yards. And so that was how they scored their first touchdown, and they're coming out of party post Deshaun Foster win against Penn State.
So then that guy in the middle is still kind of looking for work, which is understandable with Nico Iamaleva's legs, right? Maybe he's supposed to stay there to some degree, like make sure the quarterback doesn't get anywhere. But then really what it does is, if you're UCLA's offense too, that safety to the field that's lined up on the hash, he's got nothing to do. Nothing at all to do.
He doesn't have anything to do, but that's where the communication comes through. And depending on how you play it, since they already have a flood this way, right? That's why I say this guy backside is the most important, because now he comes into your hole dropper / your QB spy, right? And then that's also set up by how you do your rush lanes. You got to be in a mush rush. That means you're not going to overextend yourself and give him a running lane, which Penn State had a trouble with doing later in the game, because obviously he was able to do whatever he wanted. So that's what you gotta expect in the run game,
pass game.
Excuse me. Now this is against Indiana. Indiana got after him pretty good, but I will tell you this: Indiana hung with them for the first quarter and a half. They gave up a touchdown. UCLA did on the second play of the game on a tip pass touchdown. Fisher got it right here, and this right here is a simple run play, right, where they're going to do what you call half orbit motion. It'll go into a little bit of an offset eye, but this guy right here that motions back here, he might be 145, or he's probably about 175 pounds. He ain't doing nothing. So they're trying to get something going here. I felt the Indiana game is the only, out of the 4 games that Jerry Neuheisel called, I felt like he got 2. He came in with the mindset that they couldn't run. They're going to pass first. I felt like that he could have done the opposite, considering the way the game was going. And when they tried to establish the run game, Indiana was already in motion. So right here, this is the pre-snap right here, right? It's kind of a little bit of you can say it's a cover 2 look. It's obviously right here. It's a nickel defense. And when you look at the personnel, right? So it's a 3-3-5 look. They've got a 5-man front. One of these guys. So it's 3 defensive linemen, right? Right there. 2, 3, and 3 actual linebackers. 1, 2, 3. And this is their 3-3-5, right? So look, everybody worries about whether Nebraska's running a 3-3-5 or not. Indiana has the same personnel. This guy is kind of like a jack of all trades, right? And this guy is actually can play with his hand in the dirt, this jack position here, what we call jack, or he can play off of 2 feet, what you see right here, right? So I'm just showing you that this is what Nebraska might play against them, and this is what you might get. Now you get the motion in the backfield by the pipsqueak, right? Doesn't change anything, right? Only thing it did was this guy started the communication when you started to watch on the film, as you see him moving down into the box, because his receiver that he's reading off is there too. So that bumps him over, as you see that right there, right? So when I talk about pre-snap communication, during the snap communication, which is how you're getting guys to move all within the same frequency, which leads to good defense. And so now you're going to see a simple, we call it plunge, right? 12, 13 plunge. You can go out to 14, 15, 16. That's inside, outside zone. This is a very simple play right here. This is a look-see if they can get some movement, get you to make a mistake, and see what they can get out of it, right? To get back on rhythm. They're backed up. It's an easy play to call against a base defense. Indiana is like base defense, very basic this game. They ran a lot of cover 2 and cover 4. And you see it right here, right? They try to get you on that little pipsqueak, going out there, right? Non-factor, right? You have a late alley filler by the safety, right? You had the outside backer right here, or the jack or whatever, your joker position. He took the RPO. Now everybody else is disciplined, right? Square pads, penetration, square pads, square pads, square pads, square pads, and free hitter off the crack block. So that's what Nebraska has to do, is like everybody's fitting up the same, doing their job. And I'm going to show you here what Indiana does really well. When I talk about square pads, you're able to reestablish the line of scrimmage. You don't give up the line of scrimmage because they really can't move you off the ball. Movement generally comes when they get you playing on the edge and you turn the shoulders, they can just ride you out of there. The old Denver Broncos type of running attack, which obviously worked out real well. And it was right here, run for no gain with a free hitter, discipline. He's playing outside leverage, so even if he blocks him, he's able to go right there. So essentially, everybody's doing their job, and then obviously the result is a team-based, obviously tackle for loss and a negative play for UCLA. So what does it do when you do that? With Jerry Neuheisel, this is probably him right here. That play that he put up, he dialed up and thought the motion was going to, get these guys to move. That's out of the playbook. I don't like that type of play call because when you motion a little wide receiver into the backfield that normally isn't playing back there, you bring another run defender into the run game. Closer. I'd rather seen that wide receiver lined up to the wide side of the field. Then you could get a little bit of a better account if you're trying to run the ball. This is right here. I want to show you right what Nebraska should do and could do based on what Indiana did, right? So that motion in the backfield by him, and he's kind of a little bit unique. He's number 21, but he plays slot, and they did this last year. Running backs are playing the slot. Brought in number 7. So now they don't have him accounted for in the run count, right? The lineman, because they already counted it and they snapped the ball, right? So when he goes in, they don't reset the count. That's why I don't like that, right? What do you have here? Pitch guy. Look at this. Square pads right here. Square pads. You're leveraging what? Not the block, not the ball, right? And he's going to fall back right here because you have a end going into the B gap. The A gap is taken care of. Look at his square pads and look at that pad level right here by 97. Let me get that back. I got to do a better job of that. Right? Look at that square pads and pad level right here, right? By 97. Look at that right long arm extension by 99. And I'm not sure he's a single digit, but he's getting upfield. And this is a good job by 21. Knowing his guy is taking a chance and you make him right. Because if you make him right, we right.
Because you look at that lineman who is not in good position at all. Lineman's essentially flailing, right? He can't get to that guy who penetrated that gap, right? He got around him. And so even though there is a white jersey there, it's an ineffective white jersey.
Yeah,
he's not going to do anything. He can't get back to you in that time. If you're the linebacker, you're reading that play correctly like that guy is. You're there to meet him. So then that tackle there has a choice to make. Which one do I go get?
Yeah.
You outnumber, you win the numbers, boom, run.
Yeah, and that's what they've done a good job at is, continue to, like, Indiana does a really good job here. This is a run game that they did really well against Penn State, so Indiana was ready for it. And the biggest thing, how to solve it, is being able to keep your pad square, play with good leverage and good hands, create a free runner, and excellent communication and discipline by 21 and 46 and 12, who's kind of their 3-3-5 guy. He does everything. He can blitz and do all that. So you can play this base defense against a run game if you do the things that are needed before the snap and during the snap, and you can survive against the run game. Not only survive, you can be actually really good against the run.
In this situation, do you want 12 kind of crashing down on the running back? You want him playing his lane, kind of slow playing it and letting 21 and 46 do most of the work?
No, he's probably has the pitch, or he has the pitch or the quarterback.
The pipsqueaker, the quarterback, if they run something
probably
different.
In this game, I'm sure he's on number 9? Number 9's his guy.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Right. And I like that matchup. Right. So they like that matchup. And if it somehow went this way, same thing with 7. So no, you got to be disciplined. You can't think, oh, okay, I got to crash down. So as soon as you crash down, and I'm sure Nico's reading him, then as soon as you crash down, he's out of there. So you got to stay disciplined, knowing that you got the quarterback or pitch. Really good job here coming up, stalemating him, free hitter, able to play off the penetration, and the result will be, look at that, just obliteration. Woo. There's nowhere for him to go, right? So this is where you got to think of guys on their feet, right? Hands are violent, knocking them back. Look at this guy tipping over. He's on the ground. He's flailing off a block. 96 or whatever he is, he's punching a hole in this guy. 97, actually, when you watch the film, and I'll get it on the YouTube, he comes back and makes the play. And he can't do anything.
Oh, he discards the guy and gets there?
Yeah, and he gets in it. More hats to the ball is how they play defense. And the guy that initially, I think he's number 8, got the penetration. Look where he's at. Make the play.
In his row.
Right. And it's all set up by the discipline here, the fallback here, doing your job, getting to the ball, beating the crack. So then also you have this cornerback out here. He's free. So there's nowhere for Indiana or for UCLA to go because Indiana did what they needed to do pre-snap and then obviously post-snap, obviously during the play. And then they just play with a better leverage in hands. Look at that. I mean, these are all violence and all that. So Nebraska does that coming out there to UCLA, they'll be able to stop this run game. And what that does is when you are able to win early in the series, it puts 10 times the pressure on him. Then it allows John Butler to do what he wants to do and lean on those defensive backs against UCLA's receivers. You can play man-to-man. You can play a little bit of catch coverage. You can play a little bit of combo coverage. And then you make him a lesser of a quarterback. Where he's made his hay over the last 4 weeks, unless in particular the 3 that they were really going, is somebody in the run game, in the RPO game. One of these guys didn't have a good day at the office, and he was pulling it, and once he gets it going now, listen, he's not trying to shake and bake. He's trying to run you over. Okay, so like don't sleep and think that he's a quarterback and he sees a DB and he'll lower the shoulder on you. But what they are able to do is really kill people on the mesh point. And then they hadn't played a defense, probably. I mean, Penn State's defense was pretty active, but not as disciplined and obviously not playing at home against this UCLA team.
The more I've thought about the comparison for Nico throughout the week, obviously not the same tier of prospect overall, but in terms of the way he runs and body style, I get Trevor Lawrence vibes. Sneaky fast, long strides, will hit you. Maybe not his favorite thing, but is not necessarily going to be a slider, but just such big, long strides,
like
pretty darn athletic. Yeah, exactly. So not the same hair game as college Trevor Lawrence had either.
Oh,
but
he does. He's got a
little flow. But I'm saying Trevor's hair.
Yeah, Trevor's hair was Goldilocks. Yeah, he's built like Trevor. Big, probably younger Trevor Lawrence. Will lower the boom on you. Probably a little bit more effective runner. Trevor's a better passer.
Mm-hmm.
He also reminds me.
Trevor killed teams with his legs by the end, though.
But not as fast as this dude.
Not as fast, but certainly.
Yeah, he was good. But they weren't running Trevor 28 times.
No,
right.
No,
like if they get the running game going, he's gonna keep running it. He could also
Trevor ran it 60 times, 103 times, and 68 times.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 28 times in a game.
Yeah, no, that's too many.
Yeah, for Trevor. He's number 1 pick. Also, his escapability when he escapes, especially to his right, is going to be interesting because even when he's pulled up, that means they're setting the edge and they are holding contained. He's strong enough with his stiff arm to get out of that. Now, how do you counter that? A big, tall quarterback like that, you got to chop him down, dude. You got to hit him in his legs, not hurt him, right, or not injure him. You got to you got to hit him in his shins. You got to run through him because if you think that, he's got
helmet to thigh, give him a little Charlie horse.
But his stiff arm, he's so long, and that's where that's where that power comes from. And you can't get to the ball, and then once he gets going, man, he's got some. He can house call it on you if he gets the the right amount of yardage that he's not going to go 90, especially against the speed and defense we got, but he can house a 40 on you quick,
40 or 50 if safety takes a bad angle or gets a stiff arm.
Oh yeah, and he'll break some tackles and stuff like that, and so he's playing well. You always prepare for somebody's best. That's why you're never caught by surprise, and so it's going to be discipline and decision making. And that's all they got to do, and just play the calls that they need to play, and and they'll do just fine against UCLA.
One last thing on the Nebraska defense. You mentioned everything Indiana did right to stop that play. What's the biggest area that Nebraska needs to improve on to match what Indiana did there on that play?
I just think they need to execute the calls. Like, they're probably doing what they're supposed to do, and I don't really know. I'm just guesstimating. I think they're lining up right for the most part. They're probably going where they're supposed to do. Now let's go where we're supposed to and then make plays, right? So, like an example here, right? We can go to this guy here, right? He's doing his job, doing it well, and then he ends up on the play. That's probably it.
Well, and he's the guy that wasn't supposed to make the play. Everyone else did their job, so he could go make a play.
Just go play football. I think the best thing, to answer your question, they just need to go play. Just go play football. Don't overthink it. You know what to do. Communicate, let it go, and just let loose. Little BDE.
Big defense energy.
Yeah. Hey, man, I told my basketball team about that one time in a huddle. And I'll tell you, by the time I got home, 15 minutes later, I heard what you said in the huddle. You can say they're college. They say a lot worse. So, Nebraska just needs to go play football, man. Just fly around and hit. Do what you're supposed to do, and then haul tail to the ball.
That's simple.
There you go. Black Shirt Breakdown, Whiteboard Wednesday, Jay Foreman, Old School with my man Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock. Perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Second segment with Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. After Whiteboard Wednesday. You got me all jacked up here, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
We have an event to announce, Jay, in a week from today.
I know. I got to get on it. I should have done it at 5 o'clock.
I will let you do it because Minnesota's Finest deserves to shout out Minnesota's Finest.
I got to get it here. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Husker fans, don't miss the chance to meet Nebraska star running back Emmett Johnson, 7:30 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in downtown Lincoln. Entry to the event is 100% free, but they will have official Emmett Johnson merch and officially licensed Nebraska merchandise available for purchase. It's a rare in-season meet and greet with Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson, Wednesday, November 12th at 7:30 p.m. at the Courtyard Marriott in downtown Lincoln. November 12th, so that's a bye week.
Week from today?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get to meet my man, Emmett. He's a good dude, man. You know, the one thing about him I appreciate, you know, he's been the same since he's gotten here. He's made the most of his opportunity. Probably didn't come when he wanted, but you don't worry about that. He's just every day's a work day. He's representing himself, and he's exceeded expectations. And the bigger the moment, the better he's played. And so it's a great chance for people to go out there and meet him. 7:30, Courtyard by Marriott, downtown Lincoln. He does. I'll give him credit. I'm sure he's got a great team around him. He's got some pretty cool merch. He's really pushed it really hard. And he's a fan favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So go down there and support my man.
Just down the block from us.
Yeah,
Go
I
say hi.
might
Go
have
say
to go
what's
down
up.
there too, man.
It's after the show. Won't even have to cut out early on me. So I get it.
Yeah, I'll go check him out, man. You know what? Anytime I feel like for ticket listeners down there to meet Emmett, you appreciate him, number one. Number two, anytime a player is playing well and is doing it well, he does really well in school. He's great out there in the community. He's 100% real. He's not like not calculated and all that stuff. When he's out there trying to, I guess better himself or whatever you want to call it, and push his brand, I'm all for it because his best brand is on the field, and we've seen it all season. So the brand outside of it's going to be even better. So 7:30 next Wednesday, Courtyard Marriott.
Cubs Grid is next Wednesday, 7:30, Courtyard Marriott, like Jay just said. Free to get in with merchandise available for purchase.
Yeah, so you get to get in. You'll meet Emmett, and you'll be able to buy some of his merch. I'm sure I'm sure they got it all set up, take pictures and autographs, all that stuff. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm sure, he'll be there to, do it all. But Cubster, it is 7:30 next Wednesday, a week from today now, after Nebraska beats UCLA, 7:30 to, I'm sure, 9 o'clock, 9:30. Courtyard Marriott downtown. Good setup in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, onward, upward. Austin, LSU.
Woo!
I didn't know their interim AD had like some Title IX issues.
Oh, no.
But now he is the AD.
He got elevated.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting. I don't know where the first domino falls. There's no, so you got 3 big jobs. And I'll really say you got 2. Florida's a big job, but I think it's fool's gold, right?
Okay.
I think besides Spurrier and Urban Meyer and a couple years of Dan Mullen, and even Sharkanondo was decent. Is Florida really a good job? All the stuff that goes on there? I mean, you
high potential job, but low floor job.
And they'll get you up out of there quick. So it's Penn State or LSU and Penn State. My question is, who makes the first move and who? I know they're saying Jeff Brom to potentially Penn State, right? From Louisville.
Interesting.
I'm
not sure about that one. Jeff Brom's a good coach. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he fit in with the alumni.
I'd rather shoot for Drinkwitz if I'm Penn State.
You think stand on business would be okay? Boy, hey, I can see it working. I can see. Well, first of all, it's any coach could work there. Like, as long as you're
invest enough,
yeah,
you put in the work. Yeah, I'm not anti-Brom. Would he leave the alma mater that quickly? He hasn't been back that long.
Hadn't been back that long.
Better playoff access, I guess, in the Big Ten.
It's probably harder. He's in the
it's harder to win, easier to get in.
Yeah. But he's building something pretty nice in Louisville.
He is. They've been good the last handful of years.
And are you really scared of Miami? They're going to be
right now.
Yeah, they're inconsistent. I guess you have to worry about SMU, but if you build a consistent winner, and Louisville does have some, sneaky good money, and it's a really nice town to be in. It is a great place to go to college. It'd be a little bit more risk, now he'll probably be able to leverage that to more pay, but between him and Brady, that's the only names I really heard.
Which job is more likely to take a flyer on a first-time head coach? I think it's LSU.
Oof. You really? I mean,
I wouldn't love it if I was them. I don't think experience is everything. But you think about the guys that are successful right now, like the best coaches in the sport. You give Ryan Day a nod, national title winning guy, coordinator. Kirby Smart, coordinator for a long time.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning, coordinator for quite a while, among others. Steve Sarkisian, coordinator. Lane Kiffin, coordinator. I wouldn't be shocked to see LSU go the coordinator route and Penn State go with somebody who's been a head coach before.
I can see it. I also think LSU will go with a younger coach so they can manipulate him. Because obviously there's some deep-rooted politics going on with LSU and their decision-making.
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you put on your resume? Like, so you're going to have to be able to, they're going to, because there's guys coming out of like New Orleans from the political office making football decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to do that with a Nick Saban or somebody like that. So, yeah, Penn State probably will go with the established coaches is who.
Let's pause. Can we pause this real quick? Captain Obvious says Brom didn't do much at Purdue.
I don't agree with that. I felt like he did.
It's Purdue.
I think
he did anything at all.
I think he did a lot. I think he established a new identity for Purdue. I think he recruited well. He made him a consistent winner to Purdue standards.
7-6, 6-7 with the bowl loss, 4-8, 2-4 the COVID year, 9-4, 8-5 before he jumped to Louisville. At Purdue.
Quick.
Yeah.
No, I think he did really good job at Purdue. And there was a couple times there I think he could have possibly threw his hat in at Louisville.
He held off the first time.
Yeah, he held
he
off
came
the
open.
first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is a time that he feels like he could be back there. But yeah, I think he's a good coach. I think he doesn't get enough credit for it, but we'll see. I mean, what if Kentucky comes open?
I've heard they're interested in Sumrall from Tulane, and I think he was a player there.
Yeah.
So,
well, see, the thing I look at with all these jobs, right? And it seemed like it was the fad thing to do. It's like in the NFL, it's like once one owner does it, like every other team's going to do it. You want to fire all these coaches, sure. Potentially to get out underneath all these contracts. The coaching pool is very, very shallow. And what do you think you're going to do? Like budget pay guys and think you're going to just hit the lottery? There's just not coaches out there. That's not to say to keep Brian Kelly after you hear some of the stories that he was at, and obviously when you start losing, it's not there. But it's also you want to make this decision and not be so panicky and firing a guy. And I think I think it's a byproduct. As great as a story as Kirk Cignetti at Indiana, it has clouded the judgment of the decision makers when it become at everywhere else. And I'm not saying that everybody that I guess lost their jobs or whatever could have done better. Everybody could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think it's easy to look at, Kirk Cignetti and it's like, oh man, we just need to do exactly what he did. You just can't.
Easy to say, almost impossible
Well,
to do.
can't. You're not going to be able to. I mean, it's also part of the reason why you're at where you're at is because you're not looking at what you can do better versus what somebody else is doing at their rate.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason Kirk Cignetti was going to be able to bring, or would he bring 13 guys to 14 guys from JMU?
Something like that, yeah.
Is because all the coaches that you guys hired overlooked all his players. And he had an eye for talent and a brand that he already had built.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very simple. If you go back to watch when he took the Elon job and he took the IUIP job or whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
He said, man, he's like, we're going to be process oriented.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be hard workers. We're going to be good on and off the field in the classroom. We're going to be accountable. We're going to develop them. I mean, it's the same thing. It's very simple. But he believed in the guys that he had.
Mm-hmm.
And he also knew going to Indiana wasn't a huge jump for them. It wasn't like he went and took over Ohio State,
mm-hmm.
where guys there were already, but you got Jeremiah Smith and all those dudes. So you could bring in the guys, and he has an eye for talent. He knew he was smart enough to understand where JMU played. There wasn't a big difference in the skill positions from Power 4.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew those guys would come. So then he had Fisher, and he had the defensive tackle and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Fisher was a little undersized, but he had developed him to where he could play in the Big Ten. And football has changed.
Yeah.
So and then his leadership skills make him even better of a prospect. And those guys are coming in hungry. They're going from probably $2,000 a year in NIL money to maybe $100,000 each, and they all hit it. And then also they got an upgrade. He's just kind of got them locked and loaded in there.
The couple examples that come to mind for me from college basketball, and you look at Kurt Cignetti, I think about Pat Kelsey in Louisville last year. Kelsey's younger, right? Not a guy that's been overlooked necessarily. Obviously, Cignetti, more experienced, more veteran coach than Pat Kelsey. But even like Ben McCollum, guy that was at Northwest Missouri State just a couple years ago, winning D2 national championships left and right, it seems like, goes to Drake for a year, brings his guys with him from the D2 level, wins Arch Madness, gets Drake to the dance, competes in a tournament game. I think they beat Missouri. Forget off the top of my head. And then guess what? Parlayed that into the Iowa job, where Iowa's made the NCAA tournament. They're around the picture, made it about 50% of the time under Fran McCaffrey. Sure, had a couple really good years, right? We're a 2 seed when Luka Garza was in school. I think the Keegan Murray years when that was as well. So Iowa's been good, but Iowa's not scaring anyone by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm really curious to see if Ben McCollum has some of that Kurt Cignetti, who was the overlooked, bring your guys with him.
Yeah, he brought that one kid with him that
Sturts.
That came out. His coming out party was pretty good.
Yeah.
They play a different style of basketball. Look, I think the biggest thing that you got all these spots out there, not enough coaches, and also is going to be real dependent on what they do, as far as like, what's the measuring stick of all the who's is 8 wins your first year okay? Then you got to go to 10, and how do you compete with all these guys that know how to like operate down in the SEC?
Mm.
You got to think he's going into the Lions den, whoever gets that job.
Mm-hmm.
And because you got to think Alabama set, Georgia set, Ole Miss set. If Missouri stays, he's set. I mean, what are you going to do then? Because you're coming in and you're starting over, because somebody's going to have to know the lay of the land in LSU where to recruit, right? In the 200, 300 mile radius, and you got to hit on those guys. Then you got to develop them. You got to keep them there, and you got to win, and you got to win big games.
Yeah.
Against already established programs that are going to come in and try to dip off your present roster, and some of your recruits. So whoever it is has to have a unique quality of instant team building, instant identity, as far as who they are and culture. And then he's going to have an excellent staff. He better have some guys that have Louisiana ties or LSU ties on his staff.
Well, especially if it's a first-time head coach.
Especially if it's a first-time head coach, and especially if you don't have direct connection with LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, how they go about it, man. But yeah, I mean, it's coming down to decision time. I mean, you got 4 weeks left?
Yeah.
And signing day is
December 3rd through 5th. Yeah, that's the window.
When you think about it, you only have, if you don't know, I'm sure they might have their guy. You got 2 weeks? And then you might be, if you don't have your guy in 2 weeks, you got egg on your face. So we'll see what happens. We'll take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
If you're a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124. There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Quick segment, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, before we turn it over to Bill Mitchell in the Lighthouse. They do a really good job. Really like him. Bill's a good dude. Austin, I wanted to ask you, after a couple exhibitions, first game, has it changed your thoughts on the Huskers basketball team one way or another?
I will say I am still surprised they beat BYU. I think that Rob Wright being out played a part in that, but Nebraska actually did a decent job on him in the first half. So that's why I'm less concerned about the slow starts against, say, Midland and West Georgia. Nebraska was relatively hot in the first half against BYU, really turned it up in the second half, even though they scored fewer points. Long-term outlook, no, I think it's about the same. I still think that the issues that have plagued Nebraska in years past, just looking at the roster, are still going to be the same. They're not that athletic.
Yeah.
Fred Hoiberg said post-game, rink mass will still maybe struggle with some athletic fives. I mean, West Georgia's guy was all up in rink mass business. And that's where I would like to see Nebraska maybe add the counter of some low post playmaking for rink mass. It's not something they've done a lot of. I think that could be a little change up they could throw at teams, especially with athletic five men. When shots fall, Nebraska is going to be good. I still have questions. Will they be able to rise to the moment and, not allow many 10-0 runs when the shots aren't falling? Can they hold them to, 6 or 7-0 runs instead of 10 to 12-point runs? Yeah. But we did see in the preseason, even this first game, when Nebraska gets going, it can really get going. Yeah. I do think there is a higher offensive ceiling, especially if good Jamarcus Lawrence shows up consistently. I still think it's probably a bubble team at the end of the day. I think the season comes down, like we were talking to 5 games. Oklahoma, Creighton, the 2 games down in Kansas City, and then, weird as it is, the Winthrop game in the non-con.
Yeah.
3-2 is the bare minimum. If Nebraska goes 4-1, they're probably in good position. Nebraska finds a way to go 5-0 in those games, wow, you can really start dreaming. But defend home court, win enough of your notable non-con games. Nebraska's shown it has the ability to do it. Will they? I don't know. But yeah, I like where Nebraska's at right now.
Yeah, I think when you got Braden Frager coming off the bench, and I think they have enough guys that can legitimately shoot that somebody will be hot. So
Yeah.
it's just going to be interesting to see who can be the guy that get downhill or get out on the break. I think the defense is going to be defense. The athletic ability isn't going to really change. They can work at it, and I think Coach Nate does a really good job defensively and all that. So they'll be able to do some things. But who can kind of be that junkyard dog?
Yeah, and Nebraska would throw Sam Hoy. We're getting to that conversation. I think Frager's got some of that in him, kind of almost young puppy energy, right? Just so excited to get out there and go play hard and
you can do
throw
it.
my body
he
all
can
over
finish.
the court.
He's a decently sized guy. He's long arms. He can finish. And so if he can develop into that along with the 3-point shot, and then obviously help out on the boards, it does give you some flexibility.
Rebounding was a little bit of an issue for Nebraska in the first half. They were out of position a few times, and West Georgia was a little bit more athletic than Nebraska. I will be curious to see. I doubt that Nebraska changes much, but they just lean so heavily into that no-middle defense. They really influence teams to the baseline and show their help pretty early. Sometimes they trap it. Sometimes they play it soft. I don't know if they have the personnel to do it, the mentality to do it. I would almost like to see Nebraska influence and recover back in front, because when Nebraska gets beat, it's on those skip passes that are out of long rotations. They're out of position on rebounds then as well, because you've committed 2-1 and the numbers just don't add up in your favor on the backside. I get why they do it. That no middle is really in style in college basketball right now. And when Nebraska has athletes and active hands, it's worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah.
But when Nebraska is not going well, they're not communicating on defense, and they look a step slow, it's because of that trap for the most part. They're not getting that guard back in front by design. But man, I'd like to see Nebraska be able to even out the numbers a little bit more defensively. Not sure if that's in the game plan or in the cards, but I think that it's something they could do.
Yeah, we shall see, man. Obviously it's a long season, but they're off to a good start. And we're off the airs. Turn it over to Bill Mitchell in the Lighthouse, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402